What's going on, guys? Today we'll be getting to a ticker symbol analysis of the ticker symbol TSLA. Tesla, we have seen some very interesting price action as of lately, and Tesla has been prone to make these bull flags to break out to the upside. What are we seeing as of now, guys? A retraction back down to the support level, a bounce, what we expected, red to green, into another flag. With that being said, let's get into this technical analysis breakdown over on the weekly analysis. Alrighty, guys, on the weekly analysis, we've continued to mention over the last few weeks when we initially covered Tesla down here at these lows, thinking that there's a lot of upside, being that every single data point is pointing to an upward moving trajectory, which we did get. Right, we did expect stock price to break over this major resistance level and continue higher. Ultimately, we did get jammed out, right? We did expect it in a way. If there was any spot price were to get knocked down at, it's roughly around that 50% zone within this run up in that rough vicinity. Notice how stock price accumulated for months, getting close to the ceiling. Nice big breakout, and we halt here once, two, three, 4 weeks in a boom. Big breakout. In the past, when we came to that level, right, we dropped from this consolidation, and since then we came down. We tried to hold it, went beneath it, tried to get above it, reject, boom, big movement down. So we knew that if we weren't able to hold this movement, there could be a big movement down. Right, of course, the Trump Elon thing really just kind of added fuel to the fire to that. But we have seen a hard retracement down, right, from this most critical resistance level, which does coincide, right, with that rough 50% zone between the breakout level and the high. So straight away, guys, we have seen a little bit of chop over the last few weeks. And we mentioned within the last video, within these huge retracements, especially news derivatives, it's very likely anywhere above this low, especially considering we came down to this major consolidation level. Around that 273 to 271 zone has been defended. You would expect stock price to continue to surge up higher as long as we defend these wicks and trade above. Currently, we have done that, right? We got that reversal. Momentum traders really love this, specifically the Bollinger Band. We pulled the Bollinger Band on the daily analysis. Let's see, where's those Bollinger Bands? Here we go. See on the Bollinger Bands where we regressed way below it, guys. Typically, it's where we see a hard retracement, hence over here a little bit, right? Not entirely so, but you get the point, guys. So these regression traders, these meme traders love to get these red to green reversal, and that's what we're currently seeing, man. So center back to the weekly, not really seeing a whole lot. Of course, we're about 50% up since our initial drop. We're about 50% up from this initial drop. And now is the point with this more or less consolidation candle after the bounce, right? Will we lead to more price action continuation to eventually reapproach these highs? Or will we break down from here and revisit these lows, perhaps eventually these 273, right? As of now in the weekly analysis, guys, I definitely do lean bullish, just being that we're still coming from the floor, right? Went from the floor to the ceiling to the floor, and now we're looking to make our way up. And there's not enough technical indication as of yet to say that we're moving down, right? Not super strong confidence level, but this is where the smaller time frames come into play, right? On the daily, hourly analysis, we'll get more perspective on our analysis. Tesla's continue to make these very nice bull flag movements, which we have been following, guys, right? Down to this pocket consolidation, we remained incredibly bullish, just seeing all the signs. We had an inverted head and shoulders, right? Not the prettiest one, but you see the shoulder, the head, and then the shoulder. That shoulder also coincided with a bull flag, right? You see stock price making a big move up. It's very tight. Technical analysis 101. We get the breakout with a little bit of volume confirmation, breaking over these consolidation highs, and that was the green alert, guys. We sent a really good breakout signal on the channel. We quickly ran up to this resistance zone, right? Formed another very nice flag. We broke out, and everything looked good here, guys. We're getting a nice big wide bar, right? A little bit of volume with confirmation. This is everything you want to see. But we came right back to this very major resistance level where in the past we mentioned was a 50% retracement in the inflection point for the center point of these run-ups and breakdowns. We came to the zone once again, and we just started to immediately kind of curl up. Right in the lower time frames, we did have a couple bearish signs. We had a rounding top, right? We had a head, sorry, a shoulder, head, a shoulder, blah, blah, blah. I just seen a lot of nasty confirmations. We slowly crescendo down. We retest the zone, the top of this full flag. Since then, we came down to the floor. We got the bounce. And we mentioned within this update, guys, coming down, we said if we break this, it can get really nasty because this is a textbook 101 fake breakout, right? Everything looks good. Everything looks good until it doesn't, right? And this would really need to be held. Of course, Trump, right? And the news of Elon came out, so boom, all the way back down. way too low, way too fast. We get the red to green reversal, then we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 red candles in a row, right? We did expect to have some sort of a doji candle after this big movement down, as that is atypical. We did form a doji candle into a bullish engulfing, pressing up, filling this gap, and now, flagging out, getting quite tight. So the way this flag structure is formed, it's pretty narrow. There's not much room to go much farther. If we pull out these trend lines, we can get an accurate representation of quite how long we can sustain within this, flag, but really shouldn't hang out here, guys, for, more than at least 2, 3 days. So expect a confirmation back down to this support level being 292, 293 to that 290 zone, or a breakout to reapproach these highs. We should, guys. Something also notable is that we're building a lot of energy on this flag, not only from this flagpole-like structure and these flag restraints, but we're seeing this prior descending support from this previous flag pick up a bid and have that double resistance over here, guys. So if we get the strong close over, the top of this candles being that really 333, if you want to be safe, guys, you don't want to get wicked out, because once Tesla confirms strong over these guys, you see the movement up, right? You see the flag, boom, big movement up, right? You see the flag, and boom, big movement up. Did not last long, but you get the gist, guys. So if we see price action continue over 333, that was the low point of the consolidation. And yeah, we would be breaking out of that flag effectively if that is cleared, guys. So that's really the main things we're seeing. Yes, we are setting, lower highs, moving down, crescendoing. But, in theory, guys, we're potentially forming a higher low over here. So if we get the breakout, reject, higher low here, we can still continue the uptrend. I think it's a bit of overreaction. Yes, it's a lot weaker, obviously, right, than when we did start to break it over here initially. But, we're getting another attempt, guys. This is the best case scenario, right? With these big regressions, we mentioned anywhere below this low, you could see a quick squeeze down. And this is where short sellers like to establish their newfound positions after a big gap down when that low is taken down, guys. So looks nice that we did defend this pocket of consolidation. This is really the number one thing you wanted to see as a buyer. And as of now, we are seeing that defended. So keep an eye on 233. If we do get over that, we will get the upside breakout, right? As of now, we can maintain a bias within these constraints. The overall market should have a lot to do with this breakout. If we have a very hard dip in overall market, NASDAQ 5, right? Perhaps this does give us a momentum to break down. Right, as much as I want to come on here and say my bias, personally, I do think if you break to the upside, despite being a little bit overextended on the short term of the Qs, I think the structure is looking nice, man. And we almost always see these, descension resistance points breaking out to the upside, especially these flags, right? The last two did give upside, at least one day breakout, right? This one only had one. But so with that being said, guys, it's a very close implied probability to a breakdown or a breakout. I'm not going to come on here and lie, right? It's not what we're going to do. But with that being said, we have the obvious constraints. If we break down from these low points, really being, these candle wicks over here at that 314.50, should expect that movement back down to retest these lows around that 293 to 290 zone. So with that being said, guys, over the next few days, we should have the confirmation breakdown or upside on the hourly analysis, guys. You see a better representation of that red to green reversal, which we did expect. Right, of course, Trump with the Elon news. Yeah, it's not the best thing in the world, right? But is it really worth a, 18% gap down and stuff? No, it's not, guys. So we've seen the red to green reversal. The technicals, they confirm that with the double bottom W-like formation down at these lows. Stock price comes to the neckline, right? Sorry, it knifes down, comes to the floor, bounces, comes right back up to the neckline, rejects, comes back down, forming that W-like formation. We reapproach the neckline at this level, broke over it, and boom, big movement up. Very obvious, guys. Tesla trades beautifully. Traders love this damn thing. It actually is my favorite stock to trade, and I've made a lot of money on Tesla, guys. It's so responsive. It's very, very responsive to technical analysis. And with that being said, we get a better representation of this flag and perhaps a little bit of a cup and handle stemming from the neckline. This 333 knifing down, stock price rises back up, getting that cup-like formation with this handle structure. A little bit of a smaller cup relative to the handle. So some would argue it's not, but regardless, guys, we're seeing a drop. Buyer stepping back up to this level, rejection, consolidation underneath, and once again, right, we do have the upside potential and the down. I do think you have to lean to the upside. Once again, guys, and on the hourly, this looks a lot better. Just seeing this tight price action in these tight candles in the structure, it almost always leads to nice price action for Tesla stock, right? Especially as of recently, and considering centering back to the weekly analysis, right? We picked up a bit on this ascending trend line, right? Roughly in this vicinity. We reclaimed to these lows. We had this pocket of consolidation. I think from a macro perspective, deep perspective, everything's looking good, right? We did have a blip amongst the road, despite seeing a lot of back and forth indications on the smaller time frames, really leading to the upside. I think when you really zoom out, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. Great quote, very, very true. I think we can continue to see the upside. You know, we also have this channel, right? If we jump over to the monthly, to get a different perspective. Right, we did have that, bull flag breakout on the macro perspective being these constraints down here. Very, very obvious, or a pennant, whatever you want to say, guys. Stock makes a big move up, enters this consolidation like phase, gets the breakout. We kind of came down to this level and moving up higher. So I think from the, bigger perspective, guys, things looks good. And to see a quick bid up and respective of the top of this consolidation level, you got to lean bullish, guys, but we'll remain data oriented. As this data comes out, we will cover it live. If you found any value, consider subscribing for more Tesla updates. Have a good day, guys. Take care. Trade smart and peace.